with an update on Bray Wyatt and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Speaking about his WrestleMania match against Kevin Owens from last year, Steve Austin told Out of Character, "Oh, I turned them down several times until they kept coming back with different creative." KO was always in the conversation and I was down with that because I love that guy. He's awesome. On the inside, I was knocking his head off so many times because I hadn't thrown a punch in 19 years and I told him when we got to the finish, I said, "Dude, I can't believe you didn't give me a receipt out there." That's the good-natured heart of KO. On the two-man power trip of wrestling podcast, Nigel McGuinness touched on being released from WWE after his time as a commentator for the company. It wasn't a huge shock to me. I don't think so. I think with the NXT UK brand being put on hiatus and moving a lot of guys over to NXT, I kind of wasn't being used as much as I might be, and so I understood. Certainly, I'm not sure how much longer that role was going to be there. I was very grateful to still be employed as long as I was, doing the smaller shows in terms of NXT Level Up or 205 Live. The ability to work with younger guys and stuff like that and watch younger guys just breaking into this industry, that was a great experience in and of itself. But to answer your point, there wasn't a huge shock. Again, I just had felt very grateful about everything that had happened there and very appreciative of the 6 years of the learning and the education and the experience. When talking to WWE Deutschland, Chelsea Green mentioned her previous run in WWE ending due to an injury, as she said. "I think I realized then that I am much stronger mentally than I even think. I think we all are. I was alone and it was scary, but you're in a situation where you just have to do it. From then on, I realized that I am stronger than I think. I can get through these things. It is going to be okay. You just have to tell yourself that you're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. You're strong. You can heal. And all those things are true. The more that you tell yourself that, and the more that you're positive in your head, the more it will come to fruition." Giving a health update, following an injury scare in AEW Dark, Action Andretti took to Twitter to write, "To anyone wondering, I did not suffer any injuries yesterday at the Dark tapings in Orlando and am 100% healthy. I want to thank the AEW medical team and the rest of the AEW staff for taking the proper safety precautions to ensure that I was okay and had no serious injuries." With Ric Flair previously upset with Arn Anderson for allegedly not reaching out after the passing of his son Reed in 2013, Flair said this about the recent passing of Arn's son Barrett, saying on his podcast, "It's a very personal thing with Arn. I know what he's going through. Kevin Nash knows what he's going through. Any number of people out there, I'm just being selective with the wrestling community. All the BS that we go through, there are some things in wrestling that are real and hurtful and just never seem to work out right. It's a very tough thing to say, but I think Arn and I have reconnected. We've kind of gone our separate ways. It all started back with Jim Herd. He left, I came back, they left. I mean, to have that phenomenal time in the 80s and see it kind of slip away for whatever reason, quite honestly because of promoters, and then to reconnect and have a private moment and exchange text and everything, it made me cry. I was that happy to hear back from him. Not much more I can say about that. I just hope he and I can move forward and do some stuff together." On Cafe de Rene, Rob Van Dam was asked if Triple H buried him during his time in WWE, as he said, "What's funny, like, at this stage, having the perspective of a much bigger picture, that means something completely different than it did back then. With that competitive heart being in the mix back in 2005 or whatever, then it felt like this MFer, like he's competition with me, and just because he doesn't like me, he's holding me back. And if it wasn't for him, boom. I don't take it as personal if that is the truth. You know, I think that Hunter had the right, just like anybody did, to think that I was a bit of a wild card, you know, because I was a nonconformist and also kind of like pushed back to authority, and I was very uncensored in every which way. For the Tyrus and Timph podcast, Alex Riley talked about an upcoming procedure he will have done. I had some eye issues and I'm going for surgery. I'm trying to combine the metaphysical and the physical here, and I went to go see a doctor. I'm getting my eye surgery, which I've needed for a while. I had dealt with 2 retina surgeries already, so I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do that again, so I'm gonna get into the metaphysical and I'm gonna get into the chakras. And then I did, okay, I'm just gonna do all chakras now, and I'm just gonna read books, and I'm gonna get very spiritual. But you're right, there is a meeting in the middle. Exactly, too much of anything is bad. So I went to a doctor. Doctor's like, you know what, I can help fix this eye. I can help fix your eye. So that's it, and I'm grateful that I finally did. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm sure it does work, but I was just kind of tired of waiting around. Speaking of Bleacher Report, Charlotte Flair revealed that a rematch with Rhea Ripley was supposed to take place at SummerSlam. I think there would have been another match after our Money in the Bank match had Nikki ASH not cashed in on me. I think this is now the ending to that. I think Money in the Bank would have probably led to another, but then you have this crazy cash in out of nowhere and we just never crossed paths again. In hindsight, I had no control of that. I'm saying it now, I don't have control. I'm so flattered that people think I had that much power. I'm very flattered, but trust me, I don't. On the Tommy Tiernan show, Becky Lynch said this about potentially retiring from in-ring competition. Well, I started wrestling 21 years ago, and so I still have a few more years left in me, and then there will come a time to hang up the boots. Yeah. Lynch would also explain why she is called the man in WWE, because for a long time in my industry, in other industries, and other sporting industries, the top person in the industry has been called the man. Until now, I'm the man. Talking about how he did not end up getting signed by AEW, Matt Cardona told the Wrestling Classic podcast, Cody Rhodes right away put me in contact with his agent, gave me some great advice. But like in the wrestling business, if a producer or agent is giving you feedback on a match, sometimes that advice doesn't work for you. I realized I didn't need an agent. I wanted to be that guy in the trenches. I wanted to be that guy doing the numbers and negotiating. Cody Rhodes set me up for sure, got me that AEW cup of coffee run. I am grateful for that. Didn't work out at the time. I'll admit I was bummed out. I was like, oh now what? Looking back, a blessing in disguise. If I had signed with AEW then, I'd be on dark. No offense to those guys, but that's not what I want. I was already that guy in WWE. As it looks like FTR's AEW contracts are expiring next month, Dax Harwood said this about the return of Cody Rhodes to WWE and how it influenced him and Cash to reconsider that as an option, telling House of Wrestling, if I told you no, then that'd be a complete lie, because it was pretty out in the open what happened with AEW and Cody. So WWE could have snatched him up and really done whatever they wanted to because he wouldn't be able to come back to AEW, but seeing that they took him seriously and they have allowed him to be a big star definitely had me and Cash analyzing it way more than we would have before. They've done a great job with him, and Cody has done a great job with himself too. He's been given the opportunities, but it's all about what you do with the opportunities, because he could have been given an opportunity and just squandered it. But he believes in himself, man. I'm very, very close with Cody. We talk probably, at the very least, we talk once a week, and I'm very proud of him, and I'm sure he's proud of us as well. But yes, it definitely made us reevaluate the things we could possibly do in the future. With FTR set to put their AEW careers on the line against the Guns, Dax explained the reasoning behind this, saying to TMZ Sports, so intrigue is the whole reason that I mentioned this match against the Guns, in which FTR's AEW careers are on the line, because wrestling is built around intrigue and it's built around new and spontaneity. That's what wrestling is built around, emotion and how you feel. You see guys, all these big sweaty guys in trunks, and they're rolling around or they're doing flips and stuff like that, and all that is impressive, but what wrestling is really built around is emotion and how someone can feel and how we can make them feel for us. And it's no secret that my real life, me and Cash's real life, our contracts coming up in mid-April. Taking to Twitter, Alexa Bliss showed off her face after having a procedure for skin cancer, writing, "Stitches and piercings are healing up quite nicely." When it comes to where Bray Wyatt was during SmackDown last week, Sean Ross Sapp noted that Bray Wyatt was not at SmackDown Friday. He was in Tampa at home. With it looking like his WrestleMania match against Bobby Lashley is in jeopardy due to a physical issue, Dave Meltzer said this regarding the situation on Wrestling Observer Radio. Man, nobody knows what's going on there. Not a mention of Bray Wyatt all night during Raw, not a mention of Bobby Lashley all night. I mean, it looks to me like I don't want to say it looks like he's off the show, but it looks like he's off the show because they're not mentioning his name at all. They did a little flash with that Bray Wyatt stuff on Friday's show, so he's with the company. There was another video where they showed him briefly, so it's not like he's been scrubbed from anything, but he was supposed to be at the show Friday night, so whatever it is, it's a health issue, and the health issue hasn't cleared up yet. And if they were confident that it was, they would at least have Bobby Lashley out there doing promos and stuff. Sticking with Bray Wyatt, Ringside News said this about his WrestleMania prospects. Regarding Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania status, we were told that no one here knows. Top level information, and it's not flowing down. At this point, it's anyone's guess what WWE will do. On Instagram, Ronda Rousey took a shot at WWE creative over a feud with Liv Morgan as she said, "Imagine what our Liv Morgan feud could have been if we weren't hamstrung by a bunch of octogenarians who still think they know how to be hip while putting a total of 5 minutes of thought a week into each women's storyline." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.